They're like my favorite podcast to listen to.
Get a sound check.
All right.
Yeah!
Yeah, you've been laughing all over this thing.
Dude, I love them.
Here we go! It's the Tryforce.
So I've been doing something real fun recently. I've been job hunting, which is, you know, it would be a lot easier, I say, if I was part of the 80% of the population that had superpowers and would be lined up for a job. Unlike the 20% of the population that, you know, is perkless.
Oh, again, we have to do this?
Oh,
we have to do this again?
Oh, again, my friend. Oh. Rayne, I love you.
Thank you. Listen, I thought, you know, I could just sneak it on in there. Maybe
Sneak
get
it
right
on.
past Colton. He wouldn't know if I said I
Sneak
wanted
it
to
on
talk
in
about
there.
that.
You just fucking drove it like a truck through my door.
Oh, man, there are tears
Yeah, but
in
you
my
couldn't
eyes.
stop it.
You're right. I couldn't stop it at all. That just fucking hell, man.
Yeah, they were
I
just like,
also-
I've got an intro.
That's it. That's all I do. I got an intro.
I'm never trusting those words again. Hello, welcome to the Tryforce podcast. I'm Colton, here with Zach, Rayne. Angela and Nicole have returned.
Woo!
Woo! Hi.
The League of Heroes is back again.
Absolutely. Can I start off with something really funny? I was telling Zach a little bit about this before the podcast, but I thought you guys would find this really funny, and I thought it would put you in a comedy mindset for today. I had a dream the other day that I've been feeling very heroic watching all the all My Hero Academia recently. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Clone High has come back as a fucking meme for some god-awful reason.
I didn't even know that was a thing that existed.
Yeah, like somebody dug that shit up from the early 2000s and made it a meme, and I don't know why, but that's back. So I guess that's just been subconsciously in my head, because I had a dream where I had to defend the U.S. one of the U.S. presidents. I don't remember which one it was. Oh, it was fucking Bill Clinton for some reason. And I don't know why. No idea why. No reason at all. So, no, I know Zach's giving me a look.
What?
I know.
What on God's green 1990s Earth are you doing?
Nicole, you already know this story.
Yeah. I was told, Nicole already knows. She's been prepped ahead of time.
So
I'm glad she's got like preparation, and we have to just on live.
I just had to raw dog that information into my
Just
brain.
a blonde lady doing mathematical calcalications.
so it's
That's
not
me right now.
It's not going to get any easier to understand. I
All right,
promise.
Bill
why would you
Clinton.
say
So
that?
apparently my goal in this dream was to protect him from all of the denizens of literal Bad City, USA. I don't know what it was literally called on a fucking envelope. Bad City, USA. I'm like, okay, fine, sure. So we'll go there. And I just remember thinking as we touched down in the plane, I'm like, okay, I can't. For some reason, nobody knew what he looked like. So I'm like, okay, so
Wait a minute.
Nobody
Nobody knew what the sitting president of the United States
Nobody
looked
knew
like?
what he looked like. Nobody knew what he looked like. This
That's
was
my
like
dream, to
I
be
know, right?
honest.
Yeah, especially now. But like I'm like, no, he can't. Nobody can know that it's Bill Clinton here. And we stopped at an ATM to get money for some reason. And for some reason, the ATM was like a talking one. So like, as he gets the money, it goes, "Here's your money, Bill Clinton." Like shoots like a bunch of $20 bills in his face. I'm like, oh God, everybody knows now.
I wasn't sold on this story until right now.
I was gonna say, I've been sitting here like, what is Colton talking about? This is like so. What does this have to do with anything? And now I'm a little invested.
Yeah, so then that happened, and then I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do now? So, like, I see a guy trying to come up with a gun, and I'm like, oh my God. So I go and I punch him in the face. I take his gun. Easy. It's my dream. Leave me alone. So like, he ran off somewhere, and like he ran into this building, and I went to follow him, but I couldn't find him. So I'm just running around this like grocery store ass building going, has anybody seen the president?
Apparently fucking not.
Really fucking not. So I went into the basement, apparently, and I got tapped on the shoulder from behind by another guy who looked like a security detail.
I swear to God, I thought you were going to say the president.
I was not going to be the president. So he goes, "What are you doing with a gun down here?" And I'm like, "I'm looking for the president of the United States." So he goes, "That's a fake gun, right?" And I'm like, "No, it's not a fake gun. I just shot somebody with it." And he's like, "It's a fake." And I'm like, "Okay, then you know what? I'll show you it's not a fake." So I pointed it, and it was a BB gun. It popped a pellet at his face. I'm like, "Oh no."
You lost me again. I'm already I'm so over this story, Colton.
Yeah, dude, you're really
literally. What does this have to do with? I'm not in a comedy mood anymore.
Is it too late to cut this?
I was in a comedy mood prior, ready to record. You have completely destroyed my.
Could you give us the elevator pitch on the resolution of this?
Oh, the elevator pitch of the resolution
on too long.
is I don't know what happened to the fucking president, and
You
I was
just
an
lost
awful
Bill
security
Clinton
guard.
in a grocery store.
Absolutely lost Bill Clinton in the grocery store.
That doesn't really sound like something a hero would do.
No,
Colton.
I didn't say.
So you know which hero we should check in with? Tenya Ida, because
Yeah, we should check in with
we've
Tenya
got
Ida.
My Hero Academia
Next
episode
thing.
9. Episode
Good
9.
segue. Good segue.
God, it had to happen eventually, didn't it? Thanks.
It wasn't happening here.
Oh my lord!
So episode 9 is Do Your Best, Tenya Ida, because clearly Colton didn't do his fucking best.
No, I didn't.
You lost the fucking most powerful man in America. All right. Oh, God. Does anybody need, a brain scrub? All right. So, much to his surprise, Izuku Midoriya is chosen as the class president, but much like Caesar refusing the crown, he ends up relinquishing the position to Ida when he and his friends find him more suitable for the position. The students are then assigned another field exercise, but before it begins, a horde of villains suddenly appear before them.
Oh, I love that it's a horde of villains.
Yeah, it always is.
A literal group.
It always is.
Would you think maybe something like a league, maybe?
Perhaps.
A loose collection? A union of villains, if you will?
Yeah.
Nicole, if you had to rename the League of Villains, what would they be?
A pod of baddies.
A pod
A pod of baddies. And here we see a wild pod of baddies.
Magnificent. So, Tenya Ida. Let's talk about Tenya Ida, shall we? I am a big fan of Tenya Ida.
What a good boy.
What a good boy. He is the kind of very stereotypical, straight-laced, rule-following, by-the-book, teacher's pet, good boy.
Like if you had to
grades,
picture lawful good.
Lawful good, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's...
I said this off podcast to Colton, but we had been talking about Ida, and I was just like, I know I was bullied in school, but Ida is the kid that I would have been making fun of in school.
Yeah.
The hand thing, you shouldn't be doing that. Bakugo, stop yelling in class. I would be like, dude, just shut the fuck up.
I knew a guy like that. I knew a guy like that in my school. And it was just the most irritating thing in the world because I'm like, boy, it's 7 a.m. How do you have this kind of energy? Nobody cares. Stop.
Yeah, and that's kind of the vibe you get with his character a lot. But he has his moments. He has his great moments. And he can run real fast. Super fast. Because he has very thick, with couple C's, engine legs. And them engines, they run hot.
I was always wondering about this. Quirks are super weird because they don't really manifest until maybe late childhood, early teenager years, right? In a lot of cases. So did fucking Ida just wake up with metal legs?
I think, maybe it's a quirk from birth. Maybe he just came out of his
Ow!
engine legs.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe it's 6 mufflers on either calf muscle.
What you got under the hood, boy?
Oh, maybe it's Exxon.
Right.
Oh my
I want
god.
to talk about how Ida is one of those characters where the first couple episodes when he shows up when Deku is taking the exam, I was like, who is this Karen ass motherfucker? And then slowly over the course of time, he took a trope of a character like that archetype that I just don't usually like very much. And he does it so charmingly that I fucking love him, like with all of my heart.
Yeah, he's a very good boy.
He's very, very good. Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Like it's so weird to me because you're right. He does take like he's that annoying trope. Every other character that tries to do that is irritating to me. But then he just does it in such a way where like he'll let people just do. He won't be a fucking pain in the ass for rules if it doesn't call for it, you know? If the only way to solve the situation is to not be a pain in the ass by rules, he's just like, okay, what do you want me to do? And
he's just very charming.
Yes.
Honestly.
He's almost such a stickler. He's only a stickler for the rules in school. And that's what makes him charming. You know, outside, he's just a normal hero.
I think it's kind of obviously it would be a spoiler for the folks that aren't up on the new season, but there's a certain, shall we go with aerial hero that like has that kind of drive to save everybody. And I think that that's kind of who Ida would be. I think he would use his speed to try to make sure everybody got out safely.
Of course. And it's such a cool thing to witness because a lot of this show is taking weird anime tropes and making them lovable, except for Mineta. I mean, I feel like all the negative energy of all the tropes got funneled into one character, and it's Mineta.
Who? I'm sorry, who?
Yeah, honestly, I wish.
Don't say.
I'm sorry, who's that?
Who?
Yeah.
I don't understand. Okay.
Man, if we could only be so blessed.
Here's going on. Episode 10, Encounter with the Unknown. The villains use their powers to scatter and ambush the students in order to attract All Might for a trap. Izuku ends up stranded and surrounded on a boat, along with his classmate, Suasui, and nobody else. But after learning more about their powers, he comes up with a plan to turn the tides. Elsewhere,
Just Suasui.
Nobody else.
Only Sue.
No, it was actually Shinzo. Actually, if you look, it was the person who should be in that place. Right. So elsewhere, Ida is chosen by the others, whatever that means, to break through the enemy trap and call for help. So Ida dipset, just starts running Sonic Boom style, and got out of there in order to try to warn as many people as he possibly could. Hey, we're all getting attacked. This is the attack in the big like Mock City gymnasium.
USJ.
What's that?
It's called USJ.
USJ.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
USJ.
Yeah, and it's an indoor training arena for rescue missions. So it has all different types of terrain, like cityscape, the like water, mountains, and all of that.
Mm. And there's like simulated disasters as well, like earthquakes and like shit like that.
Which is so fucking cool, man.
Which they need.
I know, but like that's just such a cool. That's just cool to me. I really like that. You know?
Yeah. Rescue heroes, if you will.
I know, but like it's so detailed. And I really think that's awesome. It's not just stupid like training dummies.
Great world building in this series.
It is.
Oh yeah. Actually, I'm gonna take a minute. Because I think it needs to be said. I know we're all gonna sit here and be like, "Who's Mineta?" But like, can we actually like for a second just discuss the fact that he really wants to be a hero, but then spends this entire episode just crying? Like, I get that they're kids, but like all the other kids who got separated, like manned up and were like, "All right, figure it the fuck out."
Right.
And then he just sobs and whines the whole time and also grabbed Froppy's titty, and I was not about it.
Yeah, Mineta
It's
sucks.
sexual assault for me.
Yeah, she should have continued
also,
drowning him.
Can we just talk about how Mineta is straight up in it just for the coochie and nothing else? Nothing.
Like
I'm sorry. He has, like, it's already been established that he has no other, like, special desire for, like, being a hero except for coochie.
Right.
So why is he still allowed to continue to be in that class? That's the
When Shinzo is right there.
Shinzo's right there. I will actually impart a little wisdom on you guys. You know, it kind of sucks to learn that like people that do your favorite things are not the best. However, the author of My Hero Academia, I believe, I'm not claiming to be speaking on anybody's behalf, but this is something I've heard, has referred to Mineta as his self-insert character.
Yes, that's true.
For those folks at home,
I've been like, I had a conversation with Rayne, I believe, where I was like, it feels very perverted old man self-insert, so it's a little uncomfortable to know that I'm correct.
Yeah.
No. Where was this?
This is a thing. It's out there. You can take your own look. But
oh God, why?
You know, for the folks at home, a self-insert would be a character, you know, meant to kind of the author to insert themselves into, literally, and live vicariously through. I know that there's been a lot of comments. There's been a lot of changes between the manga and the anime in regard to female proportions, and there's a lot of. I think the author has made some weird comments before, so it sucks. Mineta sucks.
It sucks. I think it's said best by my boy one Denki Kaminari, where he's very flirty and he also likes the ladies, which same hat. But he turns to Mineta at one point and is just like, you understand that it's not actually cute that you're doing this, and that's like a canon thing he's said to him. And it's like, if we could just like, it's one thing to like girls and, you know, want to flirt with them. I understand. Ladies are attractive, but like, dude, there's a time and a place.
Yeah, in the middle of a fucking crisis is not.
Just take one single sip of your respecting women juice.
Yeah. Denki fucking drowns himself. Denki's got a Camelback of respect women juice that he refills every single day.
Actually, I can piggyback off of this and just say that I don't super love that some people in the fandom do compare Denki and Mineta, and I'm like, no, there's a whole scene where I'm pretty sure it's Ochako that Denki's like trying to flirt with, and she's not into it and goes, oh, look, Deku, and like walks away. And he's just like, right, understood.
I shot my shot.
That's it. He shot his shot and then he's completely fine. He doesn't grope anybody. He's just vibing.
Yeah,
like,
imagine.
He's just a teenage boy, but he's not like disgusting about it.
Imagine. And he's got the dumbest fucking quirk in Class 1A. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Why? It's so stupid.
We can move on to positive comments. We can talk about how Asui is a fucking queen.
Correct.
Yeah.
Asui can do no wrong. That's it.
Yes, we can talk about how Sue is a queen, how she is so phenomenally good at using her power. Like, she just has such a good grasp of her capabilities and what she can do. Like,
what?
Do you get me?
It's a frog. They're good at gripping.
Grasp?
They're good at
grasp.
They're good at grasping things. That's
firmly
that's
grasping.
hello.
Jesus.
Is this on?
It's me, Rayne.
Goodbye, everybody.
No, I'm gonna agree. Sue has such an amazing like handle on all of her abilities, and like she's just like, I'm Frog and I know how to use it.
And it's so weird to me to think of that, like, that Sue is the one that has that kind of thought process, you know, because you're in a class with someone super Deku, super strength, super speed, the ability to amplify his power unbelievable abounds.
The power of yes.
Pretty much. Bakugo, explosions, control over fire and explosions. Todoroki, fire, ice.
Excuse me, it's nitroglycerin.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
First of all, it's nitroglycerin. Second, he actually has great control over his quirk. And
Right. Well, no. I'm not saying he doesn't.
Hold on a second. Do you want to know why Froppy has such good control over her quirk? There's a reason. There's like an actual reason. Her dad is a frog.
Yeah.
So
That's wait a minute, you didn't know this?
Wait.
Oh God, you have to look up.
Wait.
Her mother is a person, and her dad is a full ass bullfrog.
please look up Sue's family.
Yeah, it's amazing.
On your phone, Google Sue's family. Her father is a frog.
But like, to what I wanted to say before is that you would think in a class with all of that,
disturbing.
it's horrifying.
Okay,
That is
I
a
want to
full
talk about
frog.
this for a second. You know how it's not. I don't consider this a spoiler. In the manga, there's like a little bit where they explain like Bakugo's parents and like how they met, right? And like how they got together. Can I get that for Sue's parents? I want to know their story. I want to know how they got together. What happened?
I hate to be stereotypical, but like maybe he's a prince, like like
Maybe.
like of the Frog Kingdom. Like I don't think that. Like,
What
I think
if
he's perfect, like the way he is?
What if like it was a reverse situation where she was dating a person and she fell in love with him and then she kissed him for the first time and then he turned into a frog?
Frogs are perfect beings. You're not wrong.
I mean, yeah, I guess they are. Like
There's nothing about a frog that I would change.
Yeah, I mean, they're extremely good at being frogs.
What are frogs?
Which I guess is also true for Sue. Like, there's nothing about her that I would change.
Right. I mean, like I was saying before, in a class where, the normal thing is like electricity, fire, ice, super strength,
arms.
You wouldn't think that
Sugar.
I mean, that's a bulk up quirk and shit like that, but you wouldn't think that the most competent one in the bunch is just a frog. You know what I mean?
You questioning frog?
I'm not. I'm just saying I think it's so
Are
cool.
you disbelieving in frog?
Oh my god, let me finish my sentence.
I
am
just wanna
so
know.
frustrated. I mean, she's amazing at everything she does, and it's just so cool that they gave that to her. She's just wildly good at every situation and just wildly creative with her power, and it's just so useful in every situation. I love that. I think that's so cool.
I think that's the power of a happy frog family support.
Absolutely. You know what?
I mean, you can do anything when your frog family believes in you.
Yeah.
I wish my frog family believed in me.
Dude, me too.
I wish like one person in my family believed in me.
All right, guys, we've got episode 11, Game Over. So, good night, everybody. I guess it's over now.
All right, goodbye, everybody.
Unpack it up, boys.
Tryforce.
The students fight for their lives against the villains while Ida manages to escape with his friend's help. Once it's clear that Ida will warn the other teachers who will come to stop them, the village leader, Tomura Shigaraki, decides to kill Izuku and his friends just to hurt All Might's pride.
The handyman himself.
Hang on. But, like, during this process, what the fucking recap decided to leave out, tragically, criminally, actually, was the defense that was put up by none other than Shota Aizawa.
Oh, yeah. What
During
about
this fucking
What about 13?
13 kills it. Yes, the space hero.
Oh, God.
If I may talk for 1 second
Please.
about the fact that they see the villains come out of the giant portal, right? And my boy Aizawa just turns and goes, "Get these kids out of here." And they're like, "You don't have a physical quirk." And he's like, "Shut the fuck up. These are my children, and I'm going to protect them." And he goes down there. His arm gets broken, and he is still kicking all of their asses.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I fell in love. I was like, God damn, this is it. This is the scene in which I have fallen in love with this man.
I think I'm correct in stating that if you're not deeply, in some fashion, in love with Aizawa, you're just wrong.
You're not watching the show correctly.
You're incorrect. Best Dad Award.
No,
Yeah.
like, let's talk about the fact that Shigaraki, his quirk Decay, once he touches something, it starts to break away and die. So Sue was knocked the fuck out. Like poor Froppy was helpless, and Shigaraki was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna touch her. I'm gonna touch her." And he goes and he touches her, and it doesn't fucking work. And you know why it doesn't fucking work? Because Shota Aizawa kept one of his eyes open after most of his internal organs were smashed.
A literal fucking king.
Yeah.
Literally.
Literally, Shigaraki himself says, "Oh man, Eraserhead, you're really fucking cool." Like, he was just like, "You're so good at this shit." Like, come on. But of course, all cool things must come to an end, because All Might himself shows up to end the episode. And the biggest problem here, the kind of biggest departure from the form that we have, is All Might famously shows up not sporting his very famous smile. All Might shows up and he is
pissed.
He's still in his weird pencil business pants, and like he took off the suit jacket is gone, the tie is gone, the overshirt is gone. He's in a tank, and business shoes Gilly Brogues on, and he's furious.
Like, this is
Study spaghetti. Like,
this is like what my teachers looked like every time I did something in class. Like, this is, you know what I mean? It's just, he is fucking, like, this is a man that was clearly ripped away from whatever he was doing to be told that his entire class is about to be murdered by a gang of villains that just decided to fuck with him. You know? This is like the first time you can see him, like, All Might, it got to him. You know, this is the first time you see the infallible All Might, whether he's physically damaged or not. You got to him. You know, Shigaraki kind of won that. You know, it's like the Batman Joker thing.
The League of Villains is important, and they're like a very important player in the whole universe. I think they're kind of this X factor that seems to keep cropping up, because even though there are different threats, even though, you know, All for One is bankrolling them, and then we have all sorts of other villains, I think the League of Villains kind of stays in the background of pretty much everything. So yeah, they're kind of the ones to watch out for, I think.
They're just watching all the time and studying and planning, and it's just they're just like a group of fucking evil hobos, but they're, you know, a very competent group.
Say that they might be villains, Colton.
Yeah, they're just like,
They might be
perhaps even a league.
They might be actual murder hobos.
yeah, they are actual murder hobos.
I mean, listen, have you guys taken a look at Shigaraki? He looks like a murder hobo.
Mm-hmm.
I know he has allergies.
Are you gonna drag my boy Shigaraki?
You know who else?
Allergies. He's a little crispy.
He's
All right,
very crispy.
You know who else? You know who else is crispy and looks like a murder hobo? That's very interesting because
He hasn't shown up yet. He hasn't shown up yet.
no, but you knew, didn't you?
Yeah.
I specifically remember.
And search your heart. You know it to be true.
You know what? You know what fucking murders me every time I listen to the September podcast is when
Crispy man.
Angela calls him the crispy boyfriend. That murdered me. I
Learned a lot this week.
I had to pull my car over. Like, that was
I'm glad we could bring you guys enjoyment.
so
like,
much.
I can't believe you just
While I'm
snuck
literally
that
making a
one.
Dobby bracelet as we speak.
You just snuck that one in like it wasn't fucking comedy gold.
We do that, you know.
So, I'm actually really excited to share this, because I am one of them All Might stands. I do love my inflatable man. Yeah, you know, I mean, I just love him. I mentioned that in the first podcast. I do have an affection for the powered and depowered form. And I just really dig him, you know? He's Superman done right, I think. It's less boring, at least less boring. And episode 12 is simply known as All Might. However, I'm going to see what this category is for. During the English air date for this episode 12, was July 28th, 2018, which is my birthday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So,
You.
I can't believe you're only 2.
not my first birthday.
Man, Zach, you're really doing a fucking lot with these first years of life, man. I can't wait to see what's going to happen in like 10 years.
I already got a master's degree.
They grow up so fast.
Shigaraki unleashes his secret weapon, the multi-quirk monster known as a Nomu, against All Might. So Nomu are magician's red with a weird brain. Like they're just these giant chickeny creatures with like very much. They look like the Beetlejuice monster sometimes. It's a pretty gross affair.
Can I give a tidbit? The very second the Nomu shows up on screen, I think I looked at Rayne and went, "What in the Evangelion is this?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, funny. I like
Very
that.
spooky.
Yeah, they're very.
Am I wrong?
No, not at all.
They are nightmares. Beyond all recognition. Like, good God, man. It's just. Oh. Ay, ay, ay.
So, All Might finds himself in a pinch against the Nomu until Izuku and some of the other students arrive to assist him, being, you know, Izuku and Ochako and Ida and Froppy and all the gang. give him a little help. But the problem is All Might has little time left before he runs out of power to defeat the creature in order to protect the school. So he kind of does a last-ditch sort of attempt, and his quirk All for I'm always going to get it right. One for All. He kind of increases the percent that he can use it at, I believe, is what happens here.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
He does something ridiculous where he's like, how about 110%?
Yeah.
Or something like that. I don't fucking remember.
the anime thing.
But the thing is, he gets locked in this punching battle with the Nomu, and it gets me so fucking hyped every single time.
Yeah, it is really cool.
He's just trading these, like, crazy JoJo punches back and forth, and he just, like, punches him through the roof. It's just so damn hype. I love it.
Yeah, it is a really good fight. And when you start to see the Nomu starting to get, like, affected by it, you know, he's made to absorb 100% of All Might's power, but then he does the 110% thing, and then you started seeing actually starting to deteriorate, which I think is really cool. And it's just, and the music is so good. And I was Rayne, I was talking to you about this off podcast. This show does music and soundtracks so right. It's just so good. They don't overuse You Say Run. They don't overuse Trinity, which is like the Todoroki, Ida, and Deku song when they're all fighting together. They don't overuse all of the epic battle music. It's just so good.
The soundtrack's really good. I found out My Hero Academia really fucking me up with the soundtracks here. I know we're talking about season 1, but I found out who the English like singing voice for Jiro was in season 4, and I got mad at myself for not catching it because it is one of my favorite singers from a pop punk band, and I didn't know.
Who is it?
It's Chrissy Kantaza from Against the Current. And I sat there being like, wow, this voice is so familiar. I'm a dumbass. But no, the soundtrack's great. The music really, their music placement in this, like in the first season, amazing, fantastic.
Yeah, whenever I hear You Say Run, I still get chills, man. You know?
I'd also
Mike's theme.
I'd like to talk about something that the bio here for the episodes didn't seem to touch on.
Please.
I think we should talk about just real quick. The other kids that show up to help with the fight were also separated and had to fight other villains.
Yeah.
So like Bakugo and Kirishima ended up together, and of course Bakugo's like, yo, fuck this shit, and tries to like kill everybody because he's like, I don't want to deal with this.
I don't need your help, Kirishima.
Oh yeah.
Speedrun.
Any percent speed run.
Yeah, but they have to like fight a chameleon, and then Todoroki and Hakakure end up somewhere else, and my son, the idiot, doesn't know she's there.
Yeah,
but you know, it really be that way, and they all meet up to go because they're like, that must be where the big fight is, and they're all like, we should head back, and they're like, nah, let's go to the giant fight in the middle.
Yeah.
I love them, but
I mean,
they give me agita.
They're heroes, man. That's what they do. They hear a gunshot and they run towards it. They don't run away. You know, that's just the hero thing.
Yeah, no, I get it. I just like was sitting there and I was like, you running away, and you go, All Might's here? Nah, I'm gonna go over where All Might is. Bye.
Oh, man.
But also me too, Bakugo. Same hat.
Okay, guys. So episode 13 is going to be our last episode for the season.
Oh, we did it.
Yes, we did. In 2 episodes. Woo! In Each of Our Hearts, episode 13. Although he was able to defeat the Nomu, All Might now has no energy left and is defenseless against Shigaraki. But Izuku manages to stall the enemy long enough for the other teachers to arrive and force him to retreat. Can we take a moment to appreciate some of the other teachers at UA High School?
Yes.
Yeah. Can I say something?
Can I?
Can I say something about a teacher that I love?
Sure.
I love one man, Snipe.
Yes.
Just shooting Shigaraki in the leg.
I love Snipe.
I love that he shoots Shigaraki in like what? It's like either one or both kneecaps. And then he's going into the fucking void already and he just like keeps fucking shooting.
It's high fucking noon, motherfuckers.
Literally.
This man ran and went, yo, hold on. I got my ult. Give me a second. I got this.
He's
And
like,
then,
let's see if I can hit each one of these fingies.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I gotta give it out to my man Ectoplasm.
Ectoplasm!
He's so cool, creating ghost shadow clones of himself. It's tight as
shadow
shit.
clone
He looks like a villain. You know, and I love that he's a hero. I really love that. You know who else we got to give it up to?
Cementos. Incredible. A giant cement man.
Like,
I love to see it.
Just a
good
granite individual. Like, unbelievable.
I'm really stuck on granite individual.
He is. Just, you know, he's a little rough around the edge.
He got a rocky start in life. But he's really pushing hard.
You know? I mean, he's stone cold, dude. Yes. Oh, it's been so long since that dopamine hit. Oh, it's different. Okay. Anybody else? Any other thoughts on UA teachers?
The only other teacher worth talking about, obviously, Presentation Michael. Best
Was he
hero.
here? Was he here for this?
I don't think
No.
so.
It doesn't matter.
But he's still the best.
He's worth a mention.
That's true. That's correct.
All
Quick
you
question.
said was teachers. You did not tell me in the episode.
That's right.
Quick
You're
question.
forgetting in a
Have we seen Presentation Michael fight yet?
Yeah, he did the thing where the students have to like fight against the teachers. Remember, Coda has to use his animals to get past him.
Have we seen?
That's in the second season or
Yes.
the third season? Like, we haven't seen it this season.
Right. I'm just saying, have we seen it beyond that?
I don't think we've seen it
No.
yet, but like I can't wait for him to show
yeah.
up and just like
I mean,
TKO everyone.
I will tell you this: that man, he's a fighter.
Is he in the manga? Has he fought in the manga?
Yes, he has.
Ooh, baby! So we are going to get some
Delectable.
Presentation Michael
Delicious
eventually.
actual knowledge of that.
Yeah, you're gonna get some delicious Presentation Michael content in the
God.
manga.
And apparently some
Injected-
Bakugo character development. I'm
Injected
kind
directly
of.
into my veins.
A lot of Bakugo character development.
You know what? I'll come out and say it. I will officially put it on the record. I was wrong about
We
Chaz
were
Princeton.
wrong. We were wrong.
So
Yeah, you
I
guys were wrong.
We were wrong.
I don't
To
doubt
be
that I'll be
fair,
wrong.
because I am super down to drag Colton and Zach a little bit. If you haven't seen any character development with Bakugo by season 4, you're blind. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you just don't have eyes.
I mean, I have. I just like to shit on him. It's just fun. But
Easy target.
yeah, easy target. But at the same time, I will be willing to admit that the Bakugo is a shithead is up for amendment. So
Yes,
You know,
it is.
we all said
Yeah.
dumb shit in middle school. You know, like
Yeah.
it's done. You know, it's over with.
He's a shithead, but he's like our shithead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's-
listen, I love him. He's my little fucking asshole.
changing the opinion of Bakugo is on the table.
All right.
So
Ooh,
As-
Character development for Zach and Colton also?
Yeah, I think we did. I think
Absolutely.
we just grew.
amazing.
As the leftover villains are captured and the students are rescued, All Might privately thanks Izuku Midoriya for saving his life. However, elsewhere, Shigaraki confirms with his shadowy master, implying that their feud against the heroes is just beginning. So
Wow.
yeah, we're gonna figure out who that is deep next season.
Yeah.
For those of you that haven't watched,
you know what I really like about that? What you were just saying, how they wrote that.
how I said it, yeah, it was pretty good. I agree.
Yeah, well, you said it very well. Very, very nice,
Thank
smooth,
you.
velvety voice.
Thank you, I agree.
Good on you, Zach.
I appreciate
Absolutely.
that. Really, really,
Um,
it means a lot.
I really love the trope and the storytelling technique of when the good guys go back and they regroup, and the bad guys go back and they regroup, and the good guys are very clearly victorious, and they're all like, you know, upbeat and happy, and just kind of recanting the story of what happened. And then it goes to the villains doing the exact same thing, but in the opposite direction emotionally. Like in Halo, when they opened up with Master Chief and Arbiter doing the same kind of ceremonies.
Where it's so easy.
Yeah, I really like that trope because it just shows you that, you know, this is the same thing. Like, to Shigaraki, the entirety of UA is the League of Villains.
That's true.
You know, and it just shows that they're both the same group, but on the different sides of the compass. And I think that's super cool.
I think I can also give, I don't want to spoil anything, but the series does a really good job of having well fleshed out villains. Like, they have backstories and like shit that's really likable about them and like relatable, and it's cool to see.
I agree. I think that a lot of them are weird, but they're an accessible weird. Like Twice is an accessible weird.
I can't wait
him.
to get to talk about Twice. I have so much to.
Like Toga's an accessible weird. Like,
Yeah.
I like the Warp Gate dude.
Yeah, he's cool.
I love his style. He's got like the vest. He's always behind the bar.
Yo, what do you think? When do you think his quirk manifested?
Upon birth, he just came out and was like, "Hello, my baby. Hello, I'm a shadow."
Came out as like a void.
Actually, fun
kimchi.
story. You're gonna learn a lot about him in the manga.
Oh, I'm excited.
I will refuse to answer that question.
Good. I prefer that.
Yeah, no, I won't answer because it's
Quality shit.
Quality, yeah, no, great quality shit. But I refuse to answer. I don't want to spoil anything. I actually think when you guys find out about him, it's like, oh my god, it's out of left field. Like, I was like not expecting it in the slightest.
Honestly, they can't draw it fast enough for me. As soon as a new season comes out, I just slurp it up like a hot soup. I'm like, give me this all right now.
That's gonna be me.
Nicole, we haven't heard out from you. Do you have any favorite My Hero villains that stick out to you?
It would also have to be Twice.
Yes,
Oh,
Twice
good
is
man.
so good.
He's
Because
fun.
like what you were saying is true. It's just like everything isn't black and white. Definitely villains, definitely heroes, because everything is flipped depending on whose eyes you're looking through.
What?
And like with his case is that he just wants to be able to protect people that are important to him, kind of like how the heroes are doing. They want to protect everything important to them, but like his friends just happen to be edgy. So
Yes. Oh, interesting that an older, more powerful figure is taking a younger figure under his wing and giving him access to powers that are beyond his
amazing,
control, putting him in mortal danger in the process.
We love, Zach, we love to see it. What I
I
really
mean, that's the hero line of work.
Anybody else seeing this?
The quirks are the same name.
I could fucking speak. What I like about this series is that they, like Nicole was saying, it's not really black and white, because with like characters like Twice in hero society, he doesn't actually have a place as a hero. But it doesn't mean that he needs to automatically become a villain. He became a villain. He was like, I really don't have anywhere else to go because nowhere else will take me.
Oh, buddy.
And that's like, a lot of the villains in this show are, well, like, I was told I couldn't, fit in with the heroes, so where else do you go?
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think there's also like a really important commentary there about like mental illness and how that community gets treated.
yeah.
For sure, especially with Twice.
Pretty spicy.
It's
Plus also,
really
like, I love Deadpool, and that's just
yeah. He is very Deadpool-y. I really dig it, but I think it's worth noting that what you said is, if you're not a hero, you're a villain in that world that All Might has kind of championed, and I think that the society that you start out in UA it's supposed to be this perfect society at the very beginning, but then you find out about these people who just wanted to be heroes but didn't quite get it. They were just immediately thrown off to the side as villains, and it's just not nearly as perfect a society as they wanted you to believe it was. And then you get later in season 2 with Stain, you get that even further. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, you see it with a character we haven't met yet, but you see it a lot with Shinzo, where his quirk is automatically written off as villain quirk, and he was just kind of like, I'm still gonna go to the hero school, though, because, I want to prove y'all wrong. But he also is, traumatized and is like, I don't know how to talk to people now because y'all think I'm gonna just be a villain, which is cool, I guess. Thanks.
Yeah, they just pigeonhole you immediately.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. If your quirk isn't seen immediately as hero quirk, it's villain quirk, and it's my problem with people who immediately write Bakugo off as Bakugo could have been a villain, and I'm like, okay, Mr. Explodey man, and he's angry, I get it.
That's Lord Explosion Murder, please.
Bakugo would be such a boring flat villain. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah,
it would be so cliche, shitty,
Yeah, no, the point of making him a hero is to go against all of that. But that's what I'm saying. It's so quick to, well, that's a villain quirk, that's a hero quirk.
Yeah, if that's the way that they were judged, how the fuck did Bakugo not get judged as a villain quirk?
Because it was so strong. It didn't matter because he was like, oh, I want to be a hero. Because Bakugo's like, I want to be strong than everybody. I want to be the best man, me, big man. And
I want to be the number one hero.
Like no one ever was.
Literally. And so they were like, oh, well, if he's going to be blowing up, petty thieves and whatever else is going on, it doesn't matter.
But there's something else I noticed. What you're saying, it's there's a mold that they deem you with your quirks. That's just the hero mold is certain powers are seen as good. How threatening could be a frog?
I don't know, man. Have you met?
I don't know. They're turning, they're gay icons.
I don't know. I worked at a summer camp. Frogs are evil.
I'm you could take any of the Class 1A, a few of the Class 1A quirks and be like, this could be a villain quirk. Like Hakugure?
Yeah, I was just about to say Hagakure!
You gotta be kidding me.
Do you think Hagakure's quirk would not be one of the best villain quirks ever?
Just get nude, infiltrate
You won't
anywhere.
even see her coming.
You'll see that her mind is too fast for her eyes. I can't do it, man.
I just really wanted one.
Good. Yes, good. You earned it. It's a classic.
Oh shit, did I get one before?
Froppy.
Fuck, I forgot. Okay. Well,
And Denki? Even Denki would be a great villain quirk.
Yeah.
I have seen too much stuff about Denki being the UA traitor that we can't joke about it because I would
too
cry.
pure. Denki's way too pure.
Denki's too good. I said this to Colton and Zach. I'm gonna throw you a hot take about the students of 1A being.
Please fry
villains.
one up for me, please.
I was talking to Colton about how I was like, you want to know who would be like you wouldn't see it coming as a villain, but I could see it working.
Yeah.
Your boy, Rikito Sato.
Listen. Okay.
No, hear me out.
No.
I need you to have the visual that I had.
Okay.
When I was talking about it.
All right, word.
He's doing his villain thing. He's vibing, being a villain, whatever villains do. You, a hero, going to stop him, and this man just downs an entire 12 box of donuts from Dunkin's and just beefs up. I would be like, no, you know what? You do you rob this jewelry store and I'm gonna go.
imagine you're about to get your ass handed to you and he's just stuffing an entire fucking Carvel ice cream cake just down his throat.
He's just got a handful of Junior's cheesecake and it's just running down his chin.
Literally, you have to really picture it. Really
I just
see it.
Really have this image in my head of just me as a hero being like, stop that, and then he downs this box of donuts and I'm like, never mind, you robbed the jewelry store and I'm that way. That man's jaywalking.
Can I pick this up and run with it real fast?
I had a quick idea, but go for it.
I really like this. Anybody that might be familiar with the Netflix Jessica Jones series, which I highly recommend.
Yes.
There is a villain on there known as Nuke in the comics. I don't believe he's referenced as such in the show, but he takes these kind of pills that like beef him up, make him stronger, make him more resistant to pain, all that jazz. But like also turn him into like a bit of a, not thinky, no think, as Angela likes to say, no think. So like I would love something like that. Like if he was in the League of Villains, like I feel like the League of Villains gets like sugar daddied by All for One like a lot. So like I would love if they had like those like almost like a compressed sugar like cube almost, and he could just take it directly like to the face, and it would just last for a certain amount of time, and then he could just find a way to just keep kind of riding the high and keep getting. Oh, man, now you got me thinking. I love that boy. Yeah, that's true. I could see him as a villain. You know who I could also see as a villain, which is upsetting because he's actually a good and pure boy, but Tokiyami, I mean, it just writes itself.
He's no.
Yeah, Rayne and I were talking about this. He's too pure.
I know, but I could see it.
Dark Shadow is baby.
I could see it.
He's visually, he would be a very good villain. But when you just talk to him for 5 seconds, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think he has it in him.
I'm just saying, if you have a quirk,
He's a good boy. He just wants to like give you a tarot reading. Trust me.
I know. I love him. I'm just saying, I could see it. Like, it definitely. Like, if you have a quirk named Dark Shadow, like, it's pretty easy to think about. No,
I mean, I guess so, but I don't know, man. I just.
Man, I know how Colton felt after his story at the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah, I know, right? It's not fun. Like, it's too on the nose.
It is, but
it's
like
way too on the nose.
That's why I can see it, though.
But guys, do you know who would be OP as a villain?
One Katsuki Bakugo? I'm sorry.
Absolutely not. I love him.
One Izuku Midoriya?
No, we're not talking about him. One Momo,
Yeah.
Because okay, Angela and I always have this conversation about how if she could just create a fucking gun, like that'd be great. But as a villain,
a gun.
But as a villain, what's stopping her from actually just making guns and shooting all the heroes?
Like once something's created, like does it stay? Like, is there a decay period? Like.
Does it matter if she shoots all of you first?
She could just run the arms trade. She could just be like, all right, just going to unfurl my third pizza of the day and get this shit started.
No, they don't disappear because she puts the tracking device on one of those things and it never leaves.
All right, so like word, she could just. I completely agree. She would run the arms trade and she'd just be glocking people back left and right.
Momo, it also drives me absolutely mental that Momo, like, if Momo could just get past like the anxiety and the like, I'm gonna call it perfectionism. She would be a fucking beast.
Yeah.
Like, she would kick the fuck out of anyone. Like, just literally eat an entire, like, I don't know, a cake, have some Pizza Hut. I don't know. But, like, she could wreck your shit if she just put her brain to it.
Man, what an amazing quirk that must be. Like, getting to eat whatever you want and then just create anything.
It's a little OP.
Like, man,
extremely OP. It's just not being utilized well currently.
Like, all of these powers are so fucking overpowered, but like, it's almost like they're at a school for children.
Keep in mind also that I think we all forget that Momo's also one of the characters that got in on recommendation.
Yeah,
isn't she the first in the class? Like, isn't she the smartest one? Who's the first one in the class?
Yeah, she has the best grades.
Yeah, she's a fucking queen. We love her. Nicole, are there any 1A kids you think would make good villains?
Well, first, can I say one thing about Momo?
Please. Say many things.
Okay, so I think the truly most evilest thing she could possibly do is just eat all the food in front of you. That is the most torturous thing I could think of.
Oh my god.
Yeah, especially if you're sitting with Rikita Sato.
Hey,
I'm not saying that is a bad
makes
thing.
Food for his friends.
He does
all the time.
He does.
He would never make sure that you went hungry. How dare you?
I didn't imply
How dare you,
that,
sir?
I didn't imply that he was
Weehawken, Dawn.
What? I'm not insulting Rikita Sato. I'm saying if Momo ate all of his food.
If anyone does not speak utter adoration about Rikita Sato, I will take it as a personal
Good
attack.
fucking God, what is with all the crosshairs on me today?
Colton's just trying to live.
I'm literally just trying to vibe. Like, oh man,
Colton, I appreciate you.
I'm walking eggshells today.
If Momo ate all of Sato's food, he would just make her more. I don't know what you mean.
Man, I might become a villain by the end of this.
Your caffeine powers used for
Absolutely.
evil.
But as for other villains, definitely I could see Todoroki based on like the trauma that he's had throughout his
Delicious.
life.
But do you think he'd be an interesting villain?
Yes.
I do think so, but I'm like, I don't know. I see it as being too obvious, too like, oh yeah, I could definitely see this happening. But like, as a villain, I can't really think, but I would love to like kind of see more. It's kind of silly, but it's Tenya Ida.
Oh,
yeah.
yes. Oh my God, a 4-course meal for my soul.
What would
Because,
send him over the edge?
Probably the death of his brother and family.
But his brother
Okay, yeah.
isn't he okay?
Alive.
I know. I'm saying that's what.
They ask what would push him over.
Well, we won't know about that till
I
season 2.
apologize, Nicole. I was with you. I understood.
I was gonna be like, what?
Misunderstood. I can't fucking talk. Don't listen to me.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, a super fast,
but like
evil boy.
But like also we saw it when it was the practice one with Tenya Ida and Bakugo as a team and Ochako and Midoriya as a team. I just like seeing him as like a villain, quote unquote, because he's just like, I moved everything out of your way. You can't touch anything or use it against me. And I'm just like,
He really like put his whole being into that. I really appreciated that whole
Yes.
scene.
It was
Much
so
appreciated.
pure. Like, that's the one thing Ida's bad at. Like, just convincing anybody he's anything but wholesome.
but this is how he gets you, because he's just like, oh, I'm really good. I'm really nice. Plot twist, I'm plotting your demise.
Like, he's been playing a long game this whole time.
Maybe Ida's
Yes.
the UA traitor.
I mean,
Oh,
no,
shit.
Do you smell that?
because the writer forgot.
You smell that?
Literally was interviewed, and they were like, "What's going on with the traitor?" And he was like, "What traitor?" And they were like, "The traitor." And he was like, "Oh, I forgot about that."
Oh, that's
And
so.
So whoever the traitor was, we'll never know.
No.
I know
Man,
who
did
it
I write
was.
this show?
Well, I've learned that the writer for JoJo has forgotten a bunch of stuff apparently as well, like over the timeline.
Honestly, me as a writer.
So it apparently happens. So
Kakuin's height. I'm sorry.
oh my God, facts. His stands powers ? So I think that maybe we take a few moments to talk about My Hero Season 1. You know, like it's a long time ago for any of us at this point, but like, you know, if you had to sit down and show this show to somebody, you would have to show them these past 13 episodes. So like, why would you do that? Like, what would you know, do that? What would get you over that hump to say, please
I would
watch
have to
this?
relive the sludge monster scene.
Little spicy on Maine.
Who would?
It's too much.
I'm
Too
thinking
nasty.
about, like, if I had to like sit somebody down and like make them watch season 1, right? Like that's your question?
I mean, like, why would you show the show to somebody, I guess, would be a better...
Perfect. I would show the show to somebody so I could make them watch all of season 1 so I can go, all right, do you see this boy? This is Katsuki Bakugo.
my
And now
God.
everyone's going to tell you to hate him, but he has great character development. Now, do you see this boy? This is Denki Kaminari. Perfect angel. He's never done a single thing wrong in his life. And then continue to show them only the best characters as the entire show goes through.
Right.
I mean, you did get me to watch it. So.
I did
Yeah.
convince you to watch it, so.
So there we go.
I mean,
And I'm happy I gave it a shot because honestly, before watching it, I was afraid to watch it. I thought I was gonna absolutely hate it. Because I feel like a lot of these shows that get very popular, you know, people like to hate on the popular thing so that they can feel cool and edgy. But I'm really glad that I gave it a chance personally because it's way better than I expected.
It's a good review. You know, I'm glad I gave it a chance. It's about as much as you can hope for.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was really fun. I watched it during a project over the summer. I was just holed up in an editing bay all summer, and I just shotgunned the whole series. And I mean, by episode 3, I was hooked. You know, it's such a feel good show.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It has its warts, as we'll go over as we continue to review it. But like, I think it really subverts a lot of the things that we normally see. You know, I don't think that there's a lot of shows like it.
Yeah, I mean, it does everything. Like, it does the same thing. It doesn't do this. This is going to sound wrong, but I hope
it does the same thing over and over again.
I was going to say something like that, but the things that shows do over and over again, it does right. But the things that it wants to challenge about that, it also does right. Does that make sense? Like, it does, when you want the same thing over and over again, it does that correctly. But then when you want something different, it also does that correctly.
At times.
You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Like, I'm gonna agree with Zach and like have to say like at times, because there's like a lot of things in this that are very like, I don't know, stereotypical shonen. Like, I mean, they're not really challenging a lot of things, but they're not to say that they aren't challenging some things, but it's also definitely not the most like out there shonen.
Right. I mean, like I said, they're not challenging it all the time, but when they're not challenging it, they follow the beats exactly as people want them to be followed. Does that make sense?
I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah, like whatever direction they're choosing to go, they do it right.
Sometimes.
You know? Until we introduce Minetta as a character, and then we could just no.
I mean, there's more than just Minetta that's a problem here.
Yeah,
there's definitely more than that.
I feel like 90% of the show's problems could be solved if Minetta was not in the show.
I mean, like, if you like shonen, you're definitely gonna like it.
Yeah,
so if you've been like afraid to give it a shot, perhaps because it's so popular and everyone has an opinion, like give it a chance, because I genuinely thought I was gonna hate it, and I really enjoyed myself, and I'm really excited for the next season, and I'm waiting desperately for the second movie to come up where I can access it. I mean, listen, like I said this, I don't remember if I said this on the podcast, but like I watched the first 8 episodes when the series came out back in 2016 and then dropped it completely and then got back into it recently. And I'm glad I do, because like this is great, and also I'm very quick to obsess, so I'm over here obsessed. Yeah, now we're both completely hyperfixated.
You know, I like to describe it to people that want to watch it as it's X-Men with less complicated emotions. Like, it really feels like, you know, a group of young heroes that are being trained in the art of being a hero. And there's just a lot of good like messages, I think, in there. There's a lot of like a good characters that, like, you know, like Ochako's family is like really poor, so like she's being a hero in order to help them or something like that. You know, like I feel like that could be a relatable situation for people. Like the whole idea of like never giving up and believing in, you know, your true potential, and like you aren't your parents and you aren't your family trauma. There's so much, you know, you can kind of forge your own path even if people are telling you can't. You know, I just think it's good, especially for you know, the first couple seasons. Like, I've shown them to my very young cousins. You know, like it's an accessible show to show young children. I think, especially the first season. I think the first season is very like cut and dry, very pure, kind of sets the narrative up. And as you know, the show goes on, it gets darker.
Correct me if I'm not right, but I feel like okay, when we were younger, for me at least, the big thing was like Naruto, and before even watching the show, some excitement that I had was I was like, oh, so this is just like what Naruto was for us, for like the younger generation of anime fans now.
Yep.
And for me, that's really fun to see. Like,
it's so weird.
It's a completely different show. I'm not like comparing the two at all, but I just mean with like mass popularity and maybe getting a lot of people who weren't into anime before into it, which is really cool.
This is going to be like in 20 years when there are other anime podcasts being made. This is going to be some kid's Dragon Ball Z. And I think that's really cool.
Exactly what I'm trying to say. I feel like you actually described it better.
Yeah, like it's so cool that this is someone's starter anime This is their starter shonen, and what a fucking starter shonen. Like, it's so good, and it's just so fun to watch at every point, and I don't have a bad fucking thing to say about it. You know, I really don't. Like, as much as I love shitting on Mineta, I mean, you know, just to see all the other classmates come together and shit on him as well, it's just like, you know, that's good too. That's fun.
Like, I don't want to say personally, like, it's not immune to criticism. Everything is
God, no.
Which I don't think that's what you're saying, but you're gonna have a good time watching it, most likely.
Yeah. If you love anime, you're gonna have a good time watching this show, and I highly recommend it. Most animes, if you watch their season 1, it's a fucking slog. Like, season 1 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Was a nightmare. Season 1 of GX, oh god, we still have to finish that.
Of any Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, has been a nightmare.
Like,
there's no reason to bring that up here.
Of
It's
course.
just
And I'm one of the biggest Dragon Ball Z fans you'll ever meet. Season 1 of Dragon Ball Z was a fucking train wreck.
Travesty.
It was garbage. It
Honestly, a war crime. It was
awful. But you still did it. Season 1 My Hero Academia was a fucking masterpiece.
Oh, okay. I feel like that's a bit extreme, don't you think?
What do you mean it was extreme?
A masterpiece implies that nothing's wrong with it.
No.
Pretty much nothing's wrong with it.
Not at all.
The Mona Lisa is a masterpiece, Colton. That's because it's a widely respected, beautiful piece of art.
It's only a widely respected, beautiful piece of art because it's 1,400 years old.
Sure. But
I can give you some
Season?
but I won't.
What?
Did it have a season?
Yeah, season 1 Mona Lisa was garbage.
Mona Lisa smile.
Like, if I wanted to pick shonen I, like, personally think is a masterpiece, I would probably go Hunter x Hunter.
Good one. Very good one.
Angela, did this show give you any sort of Hunter x Hunter vibes as well? Because I've heard them compared as before.
Not at all. I think that a lot of people, like, I don't know. I wouldn't really. Hunter x Hunter is a lot more like, it does subvert a lot of things, but, like, I don't want to get into it too much, but, like, it subverts a lot of those, like, expected shonen plots, especially, like, main character and things like that. But I don't really find this show personally very subversive. You get what I'm trying to say? I feel like my mouth is like word vomit.
That's how you feel. That's how you feel. You know,
I don't want to get into, like, a whole Hunter x Hunter spiel, but, like, okay, for example, you have characters in Hunter x Hunter like Gon, the main character. He doesn't actually win, like, half his fights. He's not, like, some all-powerful, powerful being, you know? Mm-hmm. He's, like, a kid who, yes, has, like, abnormally strong abilities, and he's really fucking witty and smart and clever, but smart's not the right word. He's clever. But then you have a character like Deku, who the starting of the show is just him going, this is how I became the world's greatest hero, which is... Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Do you find it boring? Do you think it's like...
subverting the idea of, like, main character who's, like, this really cool, super powerful being?
Sure.
There's more things, but, like, that's just an example.
Sure, but, you know, I think...
Any sense? Please tell me.
No, yeah, and I think that in a series where you have kind of this extra preternatural, like, ability, you know, portion of it, I think that you can kind of fall into a rut. You can kind of fall into things that are very formulaic. And I think that it's interesting because, like, you know, like, only 80% of this world has superpowers and the other 20% like doesn't, like, and so, like, I think that, like, you know,
and with that, I think it's time we ended the podcast.
I will say I think it's kind of cool that, like it's been mentioned that Deku has a quirk now that his body can't really support. That's really cool. I like that a lot.
He's got his legs.
He has legs.
Shoot style.
Shoot style, baby. His arms.
I can no longer speak.
His arms have to heal in time. He becomes the number one hero.
What if like it pans up to the number one hero? It's just Deku without arms and he's just legs.
He studied at the Silverfish School, I suppose.
Oh man,
Gross.
that'd be nuts. But wow, I mean, season 1
Season 1.
did another season, guys.
Love it.
It's
We
awesome.
did it.
Man, I'm gonna go to bed. It's very
Before we-
late o'clock.
Before we end off, I do have one last thing.
Yes.
Not about season 1 of My Hero Academia.
Oh, okay.
But not entirely uninvolved.
No. We discussed wanted to give a very special thank
Yes.
you to somebody who, like, my God, if you guys want to just talk about what we received this week.
You want to talk about the real fucking hero?
Yeah, we at the Tryforce podcast, we would like to extend a hearty thanks to a very, very stringent supporter of our little lackluster and slapdash occasionally situation here. I believe it is at
Fluffy Kuma Puma.
Kuma
It's
Puma.
Fluffy Kuma.
Oh, it's Puma Kuma. Okay.
Yes. So they were very generous and got us some art from a wonderful artist by the name of I believe it is
Hold on, I
Mellow
can pull it up.
Daydream.
Mellow Daydreams.
Mellow Daydreams,
So you
got
can
it.
check them out on all the platforms where you find your art. And it's us from a picture we took from our first My Hero Academia podcast, because that was when we were all back in the same room.
The boys were back in town.
Indeed, and so those poses that we struck were placed and made kind of lovely, and with our favorite students and our favorite pro heroes on either side of both of us. And
Yeah.
that's crazy to us to get fan art. That's outrageous.
Oh yeah, I'm a big baby. I was in the back of my house when I got the notification, and I ran to the living room screaming. I was like, "We got fan art!" And I was like crying. And also, like, the washing machine hero was in my piece. And
Wash.
Wash.
Wash! But also, no, big thank you, because that's amazing. We got fan art.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. I just remember receiving that notification. All he said was surprise. I'm like, what the fuck? So I popped it up, and I just, I don't think I have been that emotional over, getting anything in a very long time. And that's our first fan art,
It's
guys.
crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Like,
and even
shit.
even independent of this incredibly generous and awesome thing, they've been incredibly supportive of us on Twitter.
Of course.
Always shouting us out and making playlists of our podcast to go to sleep to. So we absolutely love you. All right.
I apologize in advance for this podcast if you're trying to go to sleep for that one. Yeah.
Don't fall asleep listening to this, because
No.
we
Yeah.
scream.
I like us in the car. I personally enjoy
Yes.
listening to us in the car.
Excellent listening in the car. I listen at work. It's very, very fun. But I mean, man, thank you.
Thank you.
Just
Thank you.
I don't know what to say.
We should also say thank you to our guests for showing up today as well.
Yes, 100% we should.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Angela.
No problem.
You're welcome.
All right. So I think that we can call that as time.
Absolutely. Rayne, you want to do your outro?
Oh, I love to do my outro. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Tryforce podcast. Tune in next week where we talk about something else. Anything, because we don't plan it.
Oh man, you have to give away.
Guys,
Listener.
guys, I don't know if this would be like a wild suggestion, but maybe we could talk about like a video game next time.
Oh my god.
No.
Okay.
Tryforce. Yeah.
Tryforce podcast.
No.
Are we fucking done?
No, just straight up. No.
I think you should talk about